Hello fight fans, you're on the Genial MMA channel, and in this video, I'll analyze the possible fight between the Chechen Borz and the Kazakh Nomad. Let's find out who has the advantage, why this fight will take place, and we will analyze interesting moments in which many of you have not thought. And you only need to leave likes, subscribe to the channel, and also write your opinion about this fight. When Khamzat Chimaev came to the UFC, he was compared with Khabib, but he said, "I am not Khabib, I am Khamzat." Then he was nicknamed the new Conor McGregor, and only then it became clear that he was an absolutely original fighter. And now it is already clear that he has his own style and his own way in the UFC. But Shavkat Rakhmonov, on the contrary, is compared to Khamzat Chimaev. But the higher Rakhmonov rises, the clearer it becomes that his manner is also unique. Maybe he still doesn't really know how to promote fights like Khamzat does, but his results speak for him. 16 fights, 16 finishes. For example, Chimaev will no longer have such a record, but it's not important. The important thing is that very soon they can meet in the octagon, and they may even fight for the belt. Maybe one of them can remove the king, Kamaru Usman, from the throne. Or maybe none of them will meet with the champion, because Usman will end his career in a couple of years. And in this case, it remains to find out who will be the real king in this division. I think that after all, everyone will fight everyone, and I would like us to look into the future today. If you look at the statistics, Chimaev is much closer to the title, but will he take it away from the Nigerian nightmare? But first, you need to get to him, and then Khamzat must defeat Usman. That will be very difficult for him to do. It is not in vain that Usman is the #1 pound-for-pound fighter. You don't get there by accident. That is, I think most likely, Shavkat will not have the time to see Chimaev before he fights for the title. Therefore, either he will take the title and Rakhmonov will be a contender, or Borz will lose and then Shavkat will be waiting for him at the exit. So the fight seems to me, if not inevitable, then at least extremely probable. Not knowing defeat, Shavkat Rakhmonov has ended every one of his fights with a finish. The Kazakh, like many of his compatriots, started with combat sambo and pancrase. Years later, Nomad expanded his arsenal with BJJ and boxing, which allowed him to achieve high results in the professional MMA field. He became the champion of the KZMMAF organization, having made a successful title defense, and then went to conquer the M1 Global, where he also won the belt. In many ways, such achievements could be explained by the level of opposition to Shavkat. However, after signing with the UFC, a sharp jump in the class of the opponents did not affect the final results of his performances. Confident moves and finishes in every fight finally opened the way for Shavkat to the elite of the division. Only once in his career Rakhmonov entered the third round, he managed to deal with the rest of his opponents much earlier. The pressure in his performance, complemented by an endless series of blows ranging from double jabs, ending with uppercuts, knees, and kicks to the body, force opponents to overlap and try to survive. In addition to his furious stand-up game, Shavkat is also very good on the ground. He not only has excellent jiu-jitsu, but also heavy hammer fists. However, Nomad is especially good at choking, due to which he got a good share of finishes on the ground. But ideal people do not exist. Behind all the advantages of Shavkat lies his main drawback. Sometimes he misses hits, which bring him to his senses and make him work more actively. However, at a high level, for example in a fight with Chimaev, such mistakes can be disastrous, and he definitely needs to work on his defensive end. Rakhmonov is 27 years old, and a few days ago, he added a 16th consecutive win to his credit, where Shavkat masterfully destroyed the 10th-ranked fighter Neil Magny. Some of his previous victims are veteran Alex Oliveira, Michel Praceres, and Carlston Harris, and all of them got finished. Shavkat demonstrates excellent form, motivation, and sports aggression, therefore there's no reason to doubt his physical condition. And given that his biggest dream is at stake in the upcoming fights to become a champion, and therefore, we should expect an even more phenomenal fight from the Kazakh. And what about Chimaev? An unrealistically explosive and powerful fighter, he has strong control and a powerful ground and pound, as well as pretty cool grappling. Again, unfortunately, he didn't show his true wrestling skills against Burns, but still you must admit that in this aspect, Chimaev was looking definitely better than the Brazilian, and it's worth a lot. So, it is clearly not worth doubting the wrestling abilities of Chimaev. He is an incredibly strong physical fighter. According to Khamzat's trainers, he came to the hall as a green wrestler who retrained as an all-rounder and 2 knockouts in fights with Iskram Aliskerov and Gerald Meerschaert. It is clear how versatile Chimaev is as a fighter. He's tall, thanks to which he can work from a distance and aim at the opponent's jaw. Khamzat owes such perfected boxing to his camp and training side by side with Alexander Gustafsson, who was the Swedish boxing champion in the past. As Khamzat himself says in each of his interviews, he is here to smash his opponents and not to give them a chance. He came for the belt, and the rest does not interest him. And I really want to believe him. In just 5 fights in the organization, Chimaev declared himself and is practically a contender for the belt, and such confidence gives Khamzat a psychological advantage in battle. So it will be very difficult to determine the favorite. This is an incredibly competitive and very interesting duel, in which initiative will pass from hand to hand. I think it will probably be something like where 2 young charged prospects will try to impose their game. Chimaev will be better in wrestling, and Shavkat Rakhmonov will look better standing. But all this will be incredibly close, and I think the one who will be better prepared in cardio and will be able to take the initiative in the later rounds will win. This fight will most likely be 3 rounds. Namely, with the main event of the numbered tournament and precisely in 3 rounds of the fight, I am leaning towards Khamzat Chimaev. I think his psyche will be able to take the first 2 rounds, then Rakhmanov will begin to take advantage due to his cardio. And if the fight is 5 rounds and Khamzat does not pace himself, then I think Shavkat Rakhmonov will be the favorite. So I will not choose the winner, and I will leave this matter to you, friends. This is the fight where I will root for both fighters, and therefore let the strongest win in the end. This is a sport. That's why I'm very interested in what you think. Comment your thoughts. Who do you think should win? Do you think we are destined to see this fight or not?
If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button and subscribe as it helps our channel grow.